Hey guys, Luke here from LT Gaming, and I'm back, and today I'm looking at SpellForce Conquest of EO with a should you buy. So what is the game? Essentially you're on a journey to great magical might and must explore and control the lands of EO in this ever-changing turn-based strategy role-playing game. The game is currently rated mostly positive on Steam at 79%, and it was released on the 3rd of February. So I'm a little late getting to this one, mainly due to other projects, but overall, I have had a good time with this. So before we start, let's make sure to like the video, comment and subscribe if you're new here. Me and Tom appreciate all of the interaction. So SpellForce The Conquest of EO is a spin-off of the SpellForce series, and I've played a number of them. I missed the last one, but overall I do have some experience with the series and that awesome blend of RPG and RTS. Also played a multiplayer game with Tom once, and that was an interesting experience, but we did have fun. So I was a little bit intrigued to see how they were going to handle a more turn-based approach, and I am happy to say that they've done overall a good job, but there is a few caveats to that. So when you sum up the game, essentially you can choose from one of 3 archetypes and 6 spell lists. You have a number of AI opponents and factions, and you have to deal with their agenda. You build a tower which you can move and basically relocate around the map and add rooms to, which is really cool. You can craft anything from magical glyphs and artifacts to undead minions, and you can explore over 600 scripted adventures, which are different with each campaign. On the back of that, you can then recruit individual heroes and apprentices to lead your troops, and you can make the living, interactive spellbook that you have reveal new secrets and spells as you progress in the game. So it does have a lot to do, although it is very story based, but what makes this game stand out to me is its innovative features on the larger strategic map, such as the spellbook, such as the ability to craft and create units through necromancy, build rooms and move your tower around. So it's not the traditional 4X, it's quite innovative in that regard. However, where I will say it falls down is in the tactical battles, and we'll discuss those a little bit later. Okay, let's get into my thoughts about the game and my experiences with it after around 10 hours of gameplay. So for me, the key aspect of Conquest of EO is of course the gameplay. And for me, the stories and adventures in the campaign were excellent. Completing objectives to advance them is a lot of fun and extremely immersive. Some of these can even randomly occur in your unit stacks, and this keeps the game refreshing and interesting. But however, I would say you have to be a fan of reading, which for me isn't an issue at all, but I am sure some players will not like this approach. However, I will say the quality of the storytelling is a real bonus, and I really enjoyed these overall. During my time with the Conquest of EO, I primarily played as a necromancer and found the mechanics to be very fun and innovative. In particular, the ability to craft units through trial and error in the necromancy system was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed using different glyphs and ingredients to create buffed versions of my units, which was great. One of the other great aspects of the game that I really enjoyed was the spellbook. I got to carry out my research here and also power up spells to be used on the strategic map. As you progress further into the game and gain extra mastery levels, new spells and research unlocks, giving you the ability to build different rooms and also cast powerful strategic spells. The only thing that I found a little disappointing was the lack of the ability to use spells within tactical battles, but this ties into the overall strengths and weaknesses of the game. An excellently strong strategic layer with a much more mediocre tactical battle system. Okay, let's get into the discussion about tactical battles. Don't get me wrong, tactical battles within this game are fun, but I did find after a while the auto-resolve starts to be my main area of play, and I think that is disappointing. You fight battles virtually every single turn, and if I saw that the odds were in my favour to win, I would always auto-resolve. And for me, that was basically showing that I had run out of patience with the tactical battles. They are entertaining, but I feel they are so small scale that they do tend to become a little tiresome. So that is the only downside to this game. The tactical battles could use with being more interesting. However, to caveat that, I will say the ability to level up units is great and does add some flavour to tactical battles. It was quite interesting how I could take my units in different directions, even through the necromancy system, to think about how I would fight battles. So let's move on to talk about graphics and presentation. The graphics in Conquest of EO look lush and deep with some really great work done on the map. I really enjoyed the details. You have the ability to zoom out to a strategic map, and the actual land itself is full of detail, little cities everywhere, great looking fields, and I really enjoyed the starting area that I was in. I did move to other areas of the map during my gameplay where things were a little darker and not so pretty, let's say, but overall I think the presentation is extremely good. I was worried that the details in the map would drop the performance of the game, but it maintained a steady frame rate throughout, even on my aging hardware. As discussed, the presentation of the map in this game is wonderful, and the ability to switch between strategic layers is both welcome and seamless. I found the overview map to be very useful in looking around the world to see where my quests were and what I needed to do, but I think that might be because they don't have a quest list, and that really needs to be added to the game. The sound and music in the Conquest of EO is good without ever really having any standout moments. The soundtrack is whimsical and floats the player along on a cloud of fantasy and wonder. The sound effects within the battle do their job without being spectacular, and I have to say I am a fan of music in games, and I did enjoy the Celtic overtones within this one. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the shortcomings of the game and where I think it can improve. While the map is absolutely huge, there is only one map, and I do think this map would do you for 50 to 100 hours, but that is the extent of the game. Loading times are also quite long, and although I was running it off a standard hard drive, I think that could improve, although it was a little bit better on my Steam Deck. Also, look guys, a quest tracker would have been great as there is so much to keep track of. But let's balance that with what is good in this game, and there is a lot that is great. The storytelling is excellent. The strategic map is both great looking and fun to play on. And let's talk about the main selling point of this game and something we should really call out, and that was the game's attempt to innovate, and I think mostly it succeeded. So the different systems like the Spellbook, the ability to move your tower, the storytelling that integrates into the game, these are all absolutely excellent and kept me coming back for more and very interested over my 10 hours of gameplay. Alright, let's get down to this. Should you buy the Conquest of EO? And overall, I would have to say that it is a yes. The strategic layer of the game is superb, the music is strong, and the presentation is great. The tactical battles, yeah, look, they're a little weak and they could do with being a tad more interesting. But yes, I would strongly rate this game in the 7.5 out of 10 region, and for me, after 10 hours of gameplay, it's definitely worth a buy at the price that you would pay. €29.99 or the regional equivalent. So right, there we go guys, Conquest of EO, should you buy? I'm going to say yes. So, I've been Luke from LT Gaming, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.